What's up, gamer girls? It's me, Banana, and we're here to talk about a pet that is absolutely getting buffed out the wazoo in this next update that we're getting to Skyblock that has been being tested on the alpha for a bit. And the pet that we're talking about today is the giraffe, a pet that has historically just been absolutely terrible. They have basically never done anything with this pet until now because they changed up every single perk and made this pet probably one of the best budget pets for a melee setup. And let's just look into that. Also, I'm still trying to hit 69,000 subscribers, so I'd really appreciate if you liked and subscribed. Looking at the pet now, you can see still a foraging pet, but now it has health, crit chance, and swing range. It gets one swing range as a stat on the pet, which is new. Like, you haven't seen this on a pet up until now. And all of these perks are completely different. So good heart, rather than giving, I think it was just giving like a certain amount of hearts per second, it's going to give 200 health regen. I'm not really 100% sure how amazing that is. I don't know if that's a stat that's absolutely like gonna go crazy, but it's a better perk than the 20 hearts a second or whatever that it was given. But higher ground is where we start getting to some really interesting stuff, because this is going to increase your crit damage and strength by 0.15% for every 0.1 swing range over 3 up to 6. Basically what this means is that you are going to get like 4.5% of a increase on your strength and crit damage, which doesn't seem like a lot, but this adds up in dungeons and is going to lead to a pretty nice damage increase. Plus, getting up to 6 swing range is not insanely difficult when you're using something like a claymore, or when you're using something like the crimson armor set and having that set bonus going. Getting the swing range is not super hard out of dungeons, and then in dungeons you just have to play berserker and you get the max bonus on this, so you just get crit damage and strength basically for free if you're going to be using this pet. The last perk, Long Neck, is going to increase your melee damage by 100% if you're more than 3 blocks away from the target. So once again, this is something that is basically going to happen all the time in dungeons, and even out of dungeons it is still definitely going to be possible so long as you're using something that's increasing your swing range. Because if you're just clicking towards the guy as you're walking towards him, you're gonna hit him further than 3 blocks away and be able to deal the 100% more damage. So overall, this pet got juiced. This is definitely insanely good compared to what it used to be. But how does it compare to something like a golden dragon, the best damage pet in the game? Well, let's just look at that right now. Outside of dungeons here, I'm just gonna hit with my heroic Hyperion, so I deal standard damage. You can see I'm dealing like 448k just hitting with this, and that is with the golden dragon. If we switch to this, you're gonna see it goes down a bit. It's 282k. That one went up to 375. But it is not going to be nearly as high unless you are hitting from that distance, because as I walk close, you're dealing a lot less damage, but standing far away, you're still able to deal a pretty decent number. And whenever you're using more stuff, like this is me equipping a claymore, you can see 614 with the giraffe. Going back to G-Drag, you're going to see that it's 832. So G-Drag obviously is going to beat this out. It's a giraffe. You shouldn't expect it to beat a golden dragon, but it's definitely decent outside of dungeons still. This is definitely a pet that people could use whenever they're fighting things like Slayer bosses or even ghosts. Like, obviously, I have a nice setup when it comes to dealing damage, but you can see it does more than enough whenever you're killing ghosts to use the giraffe here. And that just means that you're going to be able to have that one extra swing range from the pet, which should be pretty beneficial in just making sure that you're hitting ghosts as easy as possible. So I still think Golden Dragon is going to be better on most accounts here, but it's still going to be a definitely niche pet that is way more budget friendly than a G-Drag is when it comes to meleeing. All right, so we just went into normal floor 7, and I'm going to play Berserk here because that's when you're going to be meleeing most, and we're just going to see how this giraffe does in dungeons compared to the Golden Dragon, because it's pretty darn insane when you got that insanely high swing range. So just hitting with a giraffe here, you're going to see 140 million there, 109 million. I was close on that one though. So it's somewhere around 130 to 140 million damage that I'm doing whenever I'm hitting with my giraffe pet. Equipping a golden dragon here, we're going to try and do the same thing. That guy obviously had defense, but this is like 175, 180 million that we're typically hitting when we're using a golden dragon. But you got to remember, it's a golden dragon. This thing is like the best pet in the game. It costs, you know, multiple billions of coins. You need a billion in your bank as well. And then the giraffe here does not cost that much coins. It is somewhere around like 70 million in order to get this pet, and it's going to give you swing range. It's going to give you a bunch of damage, and you get health regen on top of that. So I definitely think that the giraffe is going to be something that, while like endgame players aren't going to use it, anyone who is going through like the normal dungeons progression on the basic floors will definitely be able to use this for a super awesome melee pet and deal a ton of damage with it. So is the giraffe pet going to change the world? No, obviously this is not going to be a massive shift up in the meta here, but it is going to be a much more affordable damage option for those early on berserks going through dungeons. I think that you'll be able to see a lot of people who are using things like the Felthorn Reaper or something going through like normal floor 6. I think that this is definitely viable for people along those lines, and that's nice to see because the giraffe has not had any usage before. So having just mild amounts of usage as a more mid-game melee pet is pretty nice, because as of right now, basically all we had for mid-game meleeing was like Baby Yeti. And now maybe you can use this for damage and be able to crank your numbers up a tiny bit. Let me know down below what you guys think about these giraffe pet changes. Are you going to end up getting this pet? Because I know it is going to definitely go up in price a bit because it's a dreaded foraging pet, and I know people don't want to self-level that. But that's going to be it for this video. Hope it kept you informed, and I will talk to you in the next one. Peace out.